Hiya, this is Derek with treehugger.com. Got a chance to get my hands on one of these Goal Zero Lighthouse 250. It's a super bright LED lantern, adjustable light level, has a pretty powerful onboard battery, and I just want to show you some of the features of it. It does have these retractable legs, so you could easily use it sitting on the ground like that. It's pretty stable, or on the legs. Could be handy, although there is a tiny bit of wobble to it. There's a little bit of a compromise there. It does have a built-in carry handle, which seems like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised at how many gadgets don't have things like a handle. The handle is a bit small if you have huge hands. I don't have huge hands, so it's not a problem for me. But I imagine if you did, then carrying it around all the time, might not be the most comfortable thing. You can also use this to hang it up in your tent, your car, or whatever. You could also flip it upside down and hang it from the legs. I think that would work just as well. As far as the lighting options, it's kind of bright in this room, so I don't know if you can see it really well, but there are two LEDs, and so on the lowest setting, it lights up one of them, sort of directional out the front of the unit, and it's adjustable pretty far down, so you just have a little bit of a glow, nice reading light or night light, and then up to super bright again using just one LED. Turn the switch the other direction and it lights LED in the back and the front, so you get a full 360 degrees of illumination. It's pretty bright. They say 250 lumens. I don't have any way to measure that, but when it's dark, this sucker is really bright. Could come in really handy. And it does adjust all the way down, so you have a little more granular control than just low, medium, and off. Low, medium, high, and off, I should say. It does also include an emergency lighting system. You can see around the rim there. Again, it's kind of bright in here, so those aren't as bright as they would be at after dark. So this could be a handy addition to your car trunk, or I don't know, my kids just think it's fun to make the red lights flash around, so it could amuse your kids. It does have a built-in charging cable to charge the lantern itself and the batteries. Now, the cable itself is only about 9 inches long or something, so you do have to put it pretty close to the charging source, but I like the fact that it just sits in a groove here, and I don't know if you can see that. It fits right into a little snap-on port, I guess you'd call it, a clip, and it holds it pretty securely, so you're never going to walk out without your charge cord. There's also, and this is one of the neat features, is the USB port here. Charge any of your mobile gadgets. That's a USB out port. It accesses the onboard, I think it's 4,400 milliamp hour battery, so that's more than enough to charge something like an iPhone a couple of times. Could give your tablet a boost. It could, charge other smaller gadgets, no problem. It can also be used as a light while you're charging it, so it's not, one or the other. In the event that you were to run that battery down all the way and you didn't have a way to charge it, there's a built-in hand crank right here. Pretty easy movement. I mean, there's resistance because it's a generator. But crank it either direction for about a minute, and it'll give you about 10 minutes of light. I didn't verify that. I'm taking that on their word. But as I haven't had it down to zero and had to use that, I did charge this a couple different ways. Trying to put it through its paces. USB port via your computer or a wall charge or something. It does take about 7 hours, they say, for a full charge. I didn't time it, but that seems about right. I also charged it using the Goal Zero Nomad 7 panel. Again, it was pretty much an all-day deal. They say 7 to 14 hours. I got a lot of sun here, no clouds in the sky. I didn't time it, but it was fully charged before the end of the day. Pretty simple, just plug it in here, align it to the sun, reorient it as the sun moves through the sky, and you've got more light than you know what you can do with. On the lowest setting, they say it'll give you 48 hours of runtime. On the very highest, it's I think 2 or 2.5 hours, which could be, the bright setting is really great. You got to work on your vehicle, change a tire after dark. or you're doing something that's really visually intensive where you really need to see what you're doing, that lowest setting we found was great. Doing kids story time, going on a walk after dark. It's light, it weighs about a pound. Pretty small package, you know, so packing this thing is not going to be a big deal. It's not your ultra light backpacking light. It could be, if that's what you want to have as, you know, built-in battery and LED light. I think it could be really useful for that. I think this would be a great addition to an emergency preparedness kit or a bug out bag or something like that. Granted, the only way you're going to charge this is with an external charger or with the hand crank. And to be honest, you're not going to charge this battery fully with this hand crank unless you spend all day doing it. So it's not really an option. But if you pair it with a, you know, a small solar panel like a Nomad 7 or the Nomad 20, you can get that done in a day, and you'll have power to spare. You'll have the light charge. You'll have a couple of charges for your smartphone, GPS, camera, whatever. I think it's a great innovation. I wish we'd have had this when I was going camping a lot more, but for its price, I think it runs about 75 bucks. I think it's a great deal. I mean, I grew up using, you know, kerosene lanterns and those big, you know, those big square battery lanterns. Took 4 of them to light a lantern. That was a lot of weight. This is much smaller, much more compact. It is made out of plastic. I imagine, you know, it looks fairly durable. I haven't slammed it around a lot, but it is plastic, so I'm assuming that if you were to drop it off of onto, you know, a rock or something, it could break the plastic, although that seems like pretty heavy duty there. Comes with a year warranty. I'm not sure how long the battery is rated for. It just says hundreds of cycles, probably more than enough for what most of us would put this through. The battery is not replaceable. Maybe if you were a real DIY type guy, maybe it is, but for the rest of us, no, it's not. So that's the Goal Zero Lighthouse 250 lantern.